Welcome to the Fight Buzz on Into Boxing. Dean Whyte, Lyndon Arthur. Boys, good evening. How we doing?
I'm well. I'm good, man.
Hey, it's been a couple of weeks, so it's good to get things up and rolling again. It's good to have Lyndon, who last time we spoke, Lyndon, it was before your last fight. Now it's after. Yeah. Congratulations, man. What a win.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
The jab will always take you around the world, you know?
Yeah. No doubt.
I've got to ask, I know it's been covered, but let's just kind of go over it a little bit while we're here. The commentators were alluding to it. Tunde picked it up towards the end of the fight. He was saying, I think Lyndon's hurt his right arm. I don't think there's much in there. What was going on with the arm?
I injured it before the fight even took place. It was a few weeks beforehand where it's wear and tear. The same thing happened with my left arm, and it happened with my right now. So I just had to get some bone shaven off and some tissue taken out.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't.
That's similar to what happened to Dillian.
What's that?
I think that's similar to what happened to my bro Dillian. He had to shave a bone on his shoulder in that Joshua fight.
The doctor said, because I'm constantly doing this, my arm constantly doing this. Extra bone or something.
Yeah, something similar.
What's that?
No, I said it was something similar. I know there was something to do with some bone shaving to get done also.
It was a fight that we spoke about for so long, and you, in your defense, when we spoke to you before the fight, you were saying you seemed confident, you seemed calm and confident, not like, there was no overexcitement, no giddiness. You basically said what you were going to do. You were going to, hopefully dish out a boxing lesson. And on the night, he thought he'd won it. You got the decision. Was there any doubt in your mind when the scores were being read out and you hear it's going down and it's going to be close? At any point, did you just think, I might not get this?
Of course, because even though after I watched the fight, I thought I won it quite wide. You're in the fight, so you can't kind of see. And I know it's always different watching a fight from the outside of the fight, from watching it on telly to actually being in the ring and being in the fight. So, and I knew the fight wasn't like even if it was one-sided, it wasn't one-sided where I absolutely beat him up. I might have just nicked every round with the jab, but I knew it was close. So it wasn't. With a little bit of worry, of course, that I might have lost this because at the time in there, I thought it was closer than it looked on telly.
Was there taking away him as an opponent for a moment? I think it's fair to say that's probably the biggest fight of your career to date. When you're going in there, did you feel like you were under more pressure to perform because it was a big name, because there was another title there to fight for? Everything that was going on around the fight, did it put more pressure on you?
No, I only had the pressure of I have to win this, because if I don't, then I'm gonna get put right to the back of the queue. I enjoyed it. I've always said that they're the kind of fights you want to be in when you see likes of you'll know yourself, Dillian Whyte when he fought Joshua, the thing like that, Tony Bellew when he fought David A. All them big fights where there's back and forth, all these opinions people to have. I want to be in them. So it was no pressure. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was fun to get doubted also. You know what I mean? Because everyone, I don't know about yourself, but everyone other than my immediate people doubted him before I was going to lose. So to see, and especially the bookies, you seen the bookies have me 5-1. A lot of people won a lot of money on me that night. So just that kind of thing there was exciting. It was entertainment for me.
A lot of people, I mean, Dean, tell me what you think about this as well, because at the time, and obviously we're going back now, what was it, like 2 months or something? So we are stepping back a little bit, but a lot of people after your fight and then after the Joyce Dubois fight were kind of comparing the two, because it's a similar story in that fight. The bookies were all saying Dubois is going to go through him, give him 3 or 4 rounds, etc., etc. Did it kind of show? Was there any similarities there? I'll start with you, Dean. Just let us know what you think. The two fights, can you compare the two in any way?
Yeah, I felt like there was similarities in how both boxers box and utilize the jab in the night. You know what I mean? Obviously, and then what you got is there was hype differently around both opponents. Anthony Yarde, obviously bigger name, had bigger fights. And I think even when we spoke last time, I was talking about, you know, I'm not sure why they tried to pick you, because I feel like he lost at world level. He should really be in and around there fighting and letting you do your thing until you get to world level and do your thing. Obviously, they chose you, and you were like, hey, well, they'll find out the wrong reason. This is not the easy fight they think it is. And you've obviously gone on to beat them. So
I was saying that just a minute ago. They fought him and Tundi fought that because they not fought nobody else British level. They thought they was gonna pick me because I had half a decent name already anyway, and a few Instagram followers, and people were talking about me a little bit. They thought they was gonna pick me and just walk through me. I know that's what they thought. So they underestimated me.
Well, obviously you showed differently, but back to what you were saying, the both fights have similarities. Obviously, the hype man in Daniel Dubois, people were talking about he's going to go through Joe Joyce. I actually told many people, they do not give up. I always say gold stroke silver because I believe Joe Joyce won the gold at the Olympics and he was robbed. So I always give him the credit of that and saying gold, silver, but I know it was the silver, but most people know that and or believe that he had won the gold on the night, but was given a silver. So you don't get given, you know, Olympic silvers, Commonwealth Games, European Games, you know, like he's the most decorated heavyweight amateur coming from the UK. So you do not win these fights and do what you've done as an amateur, as Joe Joyce has done, and then to go in there and not have a game plan. How he looks and appears in there in terms of when you watch him fight and you think, oh, he's quite, you know, lummoxy and clumsy or whatever, maybe easy to hit. But he knows how to move. He knows how to maneuver his way around the ring, and he showed it on that. All he was doing literally was jabbing and stepping off and moving off to his right, and moving off to his left to get away from the right. And he did, and that's all he done all night long, really. And he started to make Dubois miss quite heavily and quite big, and then obviously that was taking his toll. And then in the end, it was really a jab fest, and there was so much similarities to your fight and that fight, especially if I think they were weekends apart, were they, or something like that, were they?
Yeah.
Yes, everyone was saying, no, there was, you know, like that's quite weird that on the night that jab. But if you're in boxing and you study boxing, you will know the key words always people say, you know, the jab will take you around the world if you practice and learn what you need to do, and you know, not heavily rely on other stuff. Most stuff come off the jab. Whatever it is, whatever you're lining up, it will be lined up off of the jab. Feinting from the jab, jabbing like to the head, shooting the right to the body. You know, like the jab is the key. It's like you know, like when if you're a painter, it's your paintbrush. If you're a composer, you know what I mean. Whatever it is, but the jab is the main weapon. It scores big points. Obviously, power shots score big points also. But clearly on that night, the judges agreed with myself thinking jab-wise is the biggest weapon, because, you know, them saying him on the front foot coming forward and trying to throw power shot, they didn't agree that was enough for him to win the fight, you know?
Yeah, they also said I was running all night, but if you watch the fight, I'm taking little steps back, like little tiny step back, a little backside. So, you know, but yeah, I don't know, man. The similarities are that we both box behind a great jab. Like you said yourself, like you can't buy amateur pedigree. And I didn't have as much as Joe Joyce, but I still had quite a decent amateur background.
Yeah.
Because and that obviously.
You was TV squad, see?
Yeah, I was on there for 2 years, but I'm not obviously, like you say, he's one of the most decorated amateurs out of the country. So I'm obviously not as pedigreed as him, but I still had the fight to draw.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I've been to 2 ABA finals. I've won a few championships. So I've boxed with Britain a good 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times against the best in different countries. So it counts. It counts millions.
With the way the pandemic has hit over boxing and just everything's still a bit crooked and not everything's back in line yet. What do you see, Lyndon, when you look at the light heavyweight division as a whole now? Post that fight, right? We've moved on from that. You've got the win. You're ranked, I think, in the top 20 now in the world. You start looking around at some of the other names in Europe and in Britain. How do you think the light heavyweight division stacks up when you look at it?
At the top?
Yeah.
Oh, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. You got Bivol, and you got Beterbiev, and then you got Joe Smith Juniors and there's a Russian kid, Usman or something like that. So it's dangerous. It's dangerous, 1,000,000%. But you know,
Minefield.
It's boxing. But I think Bivol's the most skilled.
Grounded.
Yeah.
He's a nightmare. Believe that. I've been watching.
Yeah. He's an animal.
He's very, you know, like he's just class. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, he's just class. He's balanced. His shot selection. His engine. So if Craig Richards wants to fight him right now, good luck.
Wait a minute. Craig's my friend. You know.
Listen, I'm gonna support him in that fight. I will.
Yeah, of course.
Fully the Craig Richards for that fight, but I'm just saying, I just don't think you go from British level to Bivol. Like
I agree.
You need middle ground before you go step up.
100%. I agree. But you know what? He's gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid really well. Oh shit! Sorry guys, I don't even know what I've done here. Sorry.
If he takes that fight, he needs to get paid really well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean, but look, you know what? To be honest, Craig's got a decent chin, got a decent engine, got decent power as well. It's deceptive power. I personally wouldn't put him in there with Bivol, but I mean, look, he's got a shot at fighting for a world title. He's got an opportunity to get the biggest purse of his career. Some of these things, the opportunity doesn't always knock. You don't get into boxing always get the opportunity to be at that level and fight for a world title. So he's going to grasp it with both hands. I'm going to wish him luck. And I'm definitely going to be rooting for him, like you say. But Bivol, I've been watching him, and that fight with Smith. Smith is a very, very competent, good fighter. And what he done to Smith was, listen, he was just on Smith. And the other guy, what's the other guy's name he fought? What's the other kid? He fought Andre Ward. What's the kid's name? The Cuban kid, is it?
Oh, not Alvarez.
The Bivol fought.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you mean. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, I can't remember. Even him, he was punching. Sullivan Barrera. Yes. He was punching 7 bells out of him as well. Listen, and all of these guys are brilliant. I'm trying to get.
No, but that's what I'm saying about. That's what I'm saying about the amateur pedigree. Like he come from that background as well. So you have to be careful with these men.
Do you know the funny thing? You know, Bivol was beat Beterbiev twice in the amateurs as well.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why he's dangerous.
It's mental.
Dangerous.
Listen, it is a minefield. You know a minefield, like where you don't even know where to step properly because it's just dangerous. It's just, you know what you do? You know like the old school Westerns, when they go in the pub and they have a shootout. You want to make them have a shootout, punch 7 bells out of each other, and then come in when the smoke is clear, and then say, "Hey, I want to fight suckers."
That's why I'm a strong believer that Beterbiev should fight Bivol at least 2 to 3 times,
100%.
and then I'll step in. I'll fight the loser first, and then I'll fight Bivol.
It's funny though, because I mean, on Craig Richards, I mean, we were speaking about it just before we came on air, and like, so we had Craig on, didn't we? I don't know what, like a month ago, and it was very, very respectful. It wasn't, I want Lyndon next. It was none of that, but he was saying a fight with you makes sense. Obviously, this was before Bivol talk, but I guess that's a fight that would make sense, and it's good for both of you in terms of titles on the line,
British and Commonwealth, and same. No disrespect at all. We're just both in the same division and both got titles, so that fight probably would make sense.
I think you said it last time. I know Craig's got a loss on his record already, but you were saying last time the O doesn't mean as much as people like tend to make out, the Floyd effect and everything else. But if Craig does go against Bivol, and if Bivol wins, I'm not saying he will, but is that a fight that you'd still be interested in after Craig Richards?
if he's got no title,
yeah.
it won't make sense then.
Is it so? Yeah. So you're in the basically you're in the business to climb up now.
Like I said before, like I've been the yardstick. Like I was Yard's opponent.
Yeah.
Like it's like I was his stepping stone to go back to the world. You know what I mean? The world scene. That's where he was gonna go. So now I feel like I got to be some sort of in that direction. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been the person on the B side of things. Where I'm not saying I can't be the B side to any fighter now, but in regards to like moving forward, I have to be fighting for something now. It make no sense me beating Yard today and go and fight for to defend my belt against someone like you. You got to bring something to the table.
So who do you see? And again, this is not going to work out. Like Lyndon called out whoever, but who do you see as the fight that makes sense if Craig Richards is unavailable?
I don't know. It's like I don't know. I don't know. Whoever. You know what? Let me not say no home fighting because it is what it is. Boxing's boxing. You can't always have the fairy tale in boxing or in life even. So I'm not saying he's gonna get beat. I gonna wish him all luck. But if it does and the fight makes sense, fuck it. Let's have it. We don't. It makes no difference. I don't even know what I was talking about then.
Yeah.
You can fight. You can fight.
No, I can understand your logic because if you're looking at things logic.
Logically, I want to be going.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna fight someone who's just lost for a world title to go on the transcending to a world title and try and give them the opportunity to beat you and take your spot to go there? Exactly. It doesn't really go like that. If your team's right and you've got the right mindset, he's got his way. That's fine. If you're not prepared to meet in the middle ground now and do this now, then we've missed that spot. If you've got a title, but to be honest, if he fights for a world title, remember he's still British champion still. So
I thought you had to vacate when you fight for a world.
Do not vacate it.
Vacate for that one.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm not 100% either, but that's something that they would have to look at. But obviously, if you're fighting for a world title potentially, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not going to pretend to know. I don't know everything. You know what I mean? But so what I would look at.
I guess then the answer is it's not a case of who, it's what for. So if Craig does go on and fights Bivol and that British becomes vacant, I guess you'll take whoever it is that's going for the other, whoever they put in front of you. Yeah. It might be someone you've faced already, it might be someone that we've not thought of, but it's got to be someone who's going to go for that British title because, like you say, it's not about names, it's about direction.
Yeah, it's about you have to you like now, like I feel like I'm in like you say, I'm ranked in everything. Every world rank, so now it has to make sense, kind of thing. It won't make sense me fighting these. Well, I'm at 18 17 whatever I am. It don't make sense getting to that, beating a household name like Yarde, and then just doing nothing with the victory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what kind of time frame do you see then? Because I assume I don't know exactly who is it. Is it Frank? Is it Pat? Is it a bit of both? Is it someone else? Whoever maps out that next opponent for you, what kind of time frame do you think they're putting on for you?
What, for me to fight next?
Yeah.
Oh, I want to fight at the end of May.
End of May?
Early June, latest. I want to fight 3 times. I'd love to fight 3 times this year if I can get, God willing, there's no injuries again. If I can get out end of May, early June, then maybe September, then maybe try and squeeze December in, depending on the fights. Obviously, 12-round fights can be hard if it goes there in camps and stuff like that. You need the rest. So, I'm trying to get out 2-3 times this year. Obviously, if everything goes well.
So what about what about a European title? Have you guys looked at that lane?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like
I think that makes sense.
There was elimination for the world title against the number 3, I think, or the number 4. But obviously I was injured, so I couldn't take that fight to preparation and whatnot. But yeah, like you say, the European, I'd love to be able to go up in that level because when you get Europeans, with 3/4 of the world or something, so that's another level. And when you go European level, there's levels to it, and you that's like your own yardstick to see where you will fit in and how far more you need to go. You might need if you win the European, then you might need the defense of it against another good European fighter to see, because a lot of fighters, obviously, like you say, like you say, right, with the Bivol situation and your boy, like that, yeah, like that, I might have to take that decision because you might not get the opportunity again. But a lot of fighters like don't really need and think they can jump up and they get beat.
Yeah, because
Like
you
you get
missed
built up.
steps.
Like Josh Kelly, for example, like he's a great fighter, skilled to hell, but he's only had 11 fights and he's gone against this killer because he got built up so good. Like but he's just because you was great, you might still need a learning fight or two. When you're getting against someone like that, you don't know what to do.
No, 100%. Look, with this game, there's levels. There's like an infrastructure. There's a blueprint. What you've seen, and like we're talking about, there's like first. Normally, what you do is you fight for the English, you fight for the British. You know, if you get the opportunity to fight British or Commonwealth, if not, you go on, then you fight for the European, then you fight for the world. That's the history and tradition of English boxing. It's not always. It's not always done that way. Sometimes it goes, and then people come back and fight for the British or the European, and then so on and reverse it. But I mean, if you can, the thing is, you must build the infrastructure correctly. If you miss the steps, when you go up here, you're gonna get found out because you've missed those vital steps in between.
And I honestly believe that's what happened to Yarde when he come against me, because he never had a hard opponent, and the hard opponent did that, and he got beat off Kovalev. So even in his head, he doesn't even know what level he's at, because he's beat everybody, that he's knocked everybody else out, and then he's gone to world level. You've completely bypassed European, British, even British, European, and then gone straight to world. And you can't always do that.
Do you see him getting back on the scene? Do you see him making
1,000,000%? He's a good fighter. So why not? Like before we were saying, a loss doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's lost to it, like he's gone and lost to an idiot. I would say I don't believe I'm an idiot, so I don't believe he's gone to lost someone that's not good. I believe I'm going to go on to win a world title. So if you look at this situation in another 3-4 years, when I become world champion, it's not a bad loss. That's how I see it, anyway.
Do you know what I think? And tell me what you think about this. I mean, obviously, for a little while, we've done a few films and whatnot together. The story that you've got with Pat and what you've got going on over at the gym there, it's starting to get a bit of recognition, because the way you speak, I can almost hear Pat behind. I remember him saying similar things when I first spoke to Pat, probably, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. And he was saying about he's got these plans. He's not going to rush things. He's going to do things.
But that's because he's done it. That's why sometimes it's important to have somebody behind you in your team that's actually been there and done it. Because he's not telling me to do nothing he's not done or can't do himself or hasn't done himself. When Pat was a fighter, obviously it was years ago. It was over 20 plus years ago. So it was a little different. But he went English title, British title, European title, then fought for the world. So what I'm saying is he understands boxing a lot more than some of these people that are just trainers kind of thing. No respect to any of them, but he gets it, he understands it. So, and he understands how hard it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all right getting a world title, but then you have to stay there. If you win a world title and you skipped all the other levels, you might get knocked back down straight away off another guy that's a world champion. So you need to go up in levels. That's why he said there's a structure to the boxing.
Yeah, of course. How's it all going down there in camp at the minute with yourselves, Alpha Pat? Everything ticking over nicely?
Yeah, man, everything's good. Everything as it was and as it should be. Like, just obviously being in the gym, working on things that I think I need going forward, and everyone else the same way. And it's a good little camp building in the gym with Pat's promotions and whatnot, and obviously training also. Everything's positive.
Just looking at the British light heavyweight scene, Dean, I know that obviously you're friends with Shakan, you're friends with Craig. We've got Lyndon here. We were speaking about Josh Buatsi before, who's going to be out.
As well. Yeah, it's from the ends. They're all London, except for Shaq, actually.
We spoke about the world scene before. The British light heavyweight scene is a busy. It's busy.
Let me just interject. You missed a few guys out there. Johnson's just come.
He's
gone to Frank Warren, isn't he? Who else is there? Callum Johnson. He's real good. He's a big puncher as well. Big puncher. You see what he done to Beterbiev in that fight as well. And what is there? I can't remember. But look, I tell you, the guy that really they're not really talking about is what's the he lost the other day, but he's still decent. Tyson Fury's cousin. What's that kid? I was there. He's good as well.
Yeah.
Have you done any rounds with him, Lyndon?
Many. Well, good 3-4 years ago, I say.
Yeah, he's decent, but obviously he's been out of the way a long time and he's had a few losses now. So the guy that beat him is very strong as well. You see that European kid he fought?
Yeah.
That guy's durable as well.
He won that competition, no?
I was going to say, are you talking about Bolotnik? Yeah, Bolotnik. He's so I was at that final. I was at the Golden Contract where he beat Serge Michel, and he looks like an animal. I mean, you talk about minefields before, Lyndon. I don't envy you looking at these guys. And which one am I going to go in with? What do you think when you look at fighters like that?
I'd have to get in the ring with him. I know he looks dangerous, but he probably looks. He's probably a lot harder to fight than he looked from the outside.
Yeah, if he looks harder, I mean it's a big task, isn't it? But just staying on the British, then you mentioned I did miss. There's a few names I missed out, but you've got yourself and Joshua up at the top there. Craig Richards not going anywhere. Hosea Burton. I'm just looking down the list now. There's other names that we're missing out. Dan Aziz, Diego. Say again.
Dan Aziz keeps calling me out, man. A couple of times now, and he's.
Oh yes, Dan Aziz. Dan, another South London boy. So
his strength conditioning coach keeps used to not done it anymore, but they did. He was calling me out for a bit, man. I don't know what his problem is with me and Dan Aziz.
People, it's business. It's probably not personal because Dan Aziz is a very likable chap. He's not really too.
I can imagine he is, but I beat him.
You reckon you beat him? Yeah.
Convincingly.
I think it's a nice fight. He's a nice fight. You know what it is? What I look at you've got a very good jab and you understand how to negate and move with that jab.
But that's the thing. That's what people get in the ring and think, I'll just slip his jab, I'll just make him miss his jab, and the jabs that
it's a lot harder than it seems.
It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder than it looks.
The thing that I like about what you're saying, Lyndon, and when you see in the ring, and I don't mean this. Obviously, I don't mean this in any negative way. As good as you are, and as good as you've been in your fights, you can tell by what you're talking about and the way you speak. You can tell that you're still learning. So all these things you've shown are only going to get better.
I'm not even like I know because I'm not even nearly where like not even nearly there, not even nearly. And I know, and I know, even though I just beat Yarde and that was great, that I couldn't beat a Bivol or a Beterbiev or even a Joe Smith Jr. on that level of fighting. I have to pick it up. I know I do.
Yeah.
I know I do. I know I'm way behind where that I know, but like you say, I'm a quick learner, so I'll get it, and I feel like I'm underrated. and it's a lot. I look a lot easier to hit than I am when I'm in there.
Just finally, we'll start to kind of let you guys get on with your evenings in a minute. But just finally, what did you think about Canelo taking a step up to light heavy to go and get the belt off Sergey Kovalev and then vacating? What did you make of him stepping up? And ask a silly question: would you take that fight if it comes along? What did you think?
Oh no, yeah, of course. Their digits on that check there. Would I take that? He won't even be able to finish their sentence without me saying yeah for that.
But what did you think of him doing it? Were you impressed?
Canelo, jokes aside, Canelo's elite, like elite level. Like top of the like face of the boxing game right now, and should be as well, because the skill set that he holds is mad compared to everyone else. Of course, he was going to do that. I think Canelo watched Yarde fight against Kovalev and watched his last fight, and just like Kovalev, we all know he's getting on. He likes to drink. You know, it is what it is. I take Kovalev. I think I beat Kovalev. So I know Canelo knew he would. Plus he's campaigning at super middle anyway. So he probably spars light heavies and stuff anyway. So he wouldn't. I just think he just knew what he was doing in that fight there. It was a great world. It was a easy world title for him to. I don't think he fight Bivol or Beterbiev.
No,
I don't think.
Interesting fight.
Yeah, very interesting fight. I don't think he'd take it.
He addressed it. I think somebody asked him that. One of the journos asked him that at one of his, either the Callum Smith fight or the Yildirim fight, and someone asked him, you know, what about Beterbiev? What about Bivol? And he said, "You're just trying to find big guys that'll beat me up."
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. He's not stupid. Like, I 100,000,000% know he wouldn't have fought Kovalev when Kovalev beat Cleverly, and he was that dangerous guy.
Yeah,
Canelo's now in a Mayweather position where he'll pick who he's fighting, and he's fought everyone, so you can't even discredit his legacy or his resume. So he can pick now who he wants to fight, and if he wants to fight Kovalev, because now he knows Kovalev's over like heavyweight, he can do that and beat him, and no one will say nothing.
Yeah. What do you think? While we're on the topic of him, what do you think of the Billy Joe Saunders fight?
I think Billy Joe is the only guy from England, super middle, or the only guy out the lot of them now that will give him the hardest fight. If Billy Joe can turn up.
If he turns up, I think he makes it interesting to a degree. But do I think he can beat him? I'll definitely be rooting for him to beat him. But do I believe he can? I'm not sure there's anyone on the planet, unless it's the bigger boys like the Bivols, the Beterbievs, that could probably, you know, do something to Canelo or put a chink in him. But he is that skillful.
Yeah,
you know.
I'm with you. I agree, but I do believe, like, I think Billy Joe can frustrate him enough. But then it's going to be hard to get a points decision win over Canelo.
What Billy Joe turns up though? Is it the Billy Joe that turned up on the KSI show in America and he didn't perform? You know, there's times where Billy Joe, he doesn't turn up, but he knows it's all on the line this time. He knows it's a chance to become the #1 in the world. A big payday.
I don't think he'll get stopped though.
No.
I think if Billy Joe thinks he's going to get knocked out, you will never knock him out. He's that good at defending and he's that slippery. Once he goes in survival mode, he probably won't even get hit.
He sparred Billy Joe.
Nah, but Mark F1 sparred with him. He told me he's like nothing he's ever sparred. Like I've heard he's. But I've seen, like, look at him against Lemieux, and I know Lemieux's no Canelo, but like that's the level. That's the level of easy. Like that's how easy he can be to fight.
Yeah,
like that's how good he is. That's just the level of Billy. Like he's that good, and I know he is. I can see. I can see in my eyes. I know what I can see. I can just see. Plus he's a southpaw, so
there is that about the southpaw thing, isn't there?
Good southpaws.
Yeah, he gets some southpaws that are straight up and down, but he's not. He's the awkward southpaw that you don't want to fight.
I know he's going through. He's going through the list quite like as quickly as he can now, Canelo, isn't he? You know, there was Smith, and then there was Yildirim, and then straight away there was Saunders, and then let's say for a moment he gets past Saunders, I don't see, because everyone was saying for ages he's got to fight either Smith or Saunders, and I know that there's Caleb Plant doing the rounds as well, but with all due respect to Caleb, he's not like a household world famous name yet.
He's a low reward but high risk because Caleb's good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've seen a few of his fights, like for various different reasons, and you look at he's got power, he can move as well. But if I'm Canelo, especially because he knows he's got to up his game for Saunders, he knows, like you were saying before, if you go and fight whoever else higher up in the division, you have to raise your game. Canelo's going to do the same. It's an intense training camp. I can see Canelo taking a bit of time off. He might prove me wrong and time the fight straight after, but it seems like it could be the right time for him. You've smashed 3 fights in 5 months or something.
Yeah, it's true.
That's interesting though.
I'd like to see him fight one of the Charlos, but I know that he'd beat them. But it's just one of them fights I'd like to see him. Would you want to see a Triple G again though?
Yes.
Do you know what? I think Triple G was robbed in the first fight, and in the second fight, I still think it was even close. And I
think Triple G won both the fights.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it was really. Remember, do you know? Whenever you seen Canelo's head move the way, that was probably one of the best punches. He took that well, Canelo as well. But no one hits Canelo like that. No, you understand? And Golovkin was giving him some work. The first fight, I definitely thought was a win. The second fight, I definitely didn't think he lost.
Again, in the second fight, the Golovkin's jab was hitting him.
It's funny. I feel like it's the money, the money is so huge, they didn't want to upset the apple cart. And then you got, was it Beterbiev?
He's bad. I like it.
Beterbiev. Yeah, he's another one.
I've got to say on one quick one on the Golovkin. I agree. I think it was very harsh on Golovkin on the first 2 fights to not even get one, decision out of those 2. However, if they fight now, I think with Golovkin, he's got a couple more years on the clock now. Canelo has got a couple more years in experience. I think now, don't get me wrong, I'd love to see it again. I'd stay up, I'd pay the money again. But Canelo beats him this time.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, sure, but I know what you mean.
I think Triple G's his boogeyman.
Yeah, maybe.
I think he's his boogeyman. Unless Triple G really, really gets old overnight, like fighters can. I think he gives him a hard fight again.
That Benavidez though. I heard it background there, Dean.
Yeah,
Benavidez could be the one.
Yeah, that's another fight. That's a good fight. But like Lyndon said, it's high risk, low reward. He doesn't bring anything to the table. What does he bring to the table? He's not even a real household name. Like, he's very, very good, like Caleb Plant. But these boys are technically there to try and beat you, big, long range, skillful. And what do they bring? But let's see, man. Let's see if Canelo's on smoke. Canelo's trying to take out everyone. So maybe he said, listen, I'm just going to go for this thing. Try and get rid of everyone.
Like I said before,
and keep it pushing.
Canelo's in a position where he can pick who he fights. Like he's picking the world champions. He had to fight Yildirim because that was his mandatory. But
mandatory.
He picked Canelo.
But he's known for that.
Yeah, he picked Smith because Smith had the world title and the whatever, and he picked Billy Joe. He picked.
Listen, he is in the right place at the right time all the time.
Yeah.
He manages to pick the belts and the right guys to fight and cuts tune. And there's nothing wrong with that.
That's why I say now he's the new Mayweather, because that's what Mayweather done for years.
Yeah, of course. Well, listen, fellas, I'm going to let you crack on with your evening, but it's always good having you back on. And if and when a fight did you say the end of May?
Hopefully, yeah.
If a fight is announced, obviously you're welcome back on to talk us through that one as well.
No doubt.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
And boys, have a good evening.
Yeah, man. Good speaking to you.
Again, yeah.